Today's date is November 10th, 2024. The main point is this: there's a parallel between young, dumb girls and retarded Trump voters. And what is that parallel? An inability to actually hear out what I'm saying and to, actually the women will mostly be quiet. It's the men that are talking shit right now. The recent Trump video has about 1,200 views. And how many people subscribe to me after my intelligent analysis? Maybe 5, And so there's a lot of just really dumb comments. People aren't even really listening to what I'm saying, just thinking that I'm a leftist. So that's the first point. Been spending the last, how many hours I've been out and about today? 6 o'clock, 7 hours. There was a day not too long ago where I didn't leave the house much. Now I'm out for 7 hours at a time. And by being out and about, and oftentimes, not even necessarily wearing crystals, but just tourmaline, it just feels really toxic out there in the world on a regular basis. Seeing the quality of men that all the women are with is constantly attacking on the soul in general, just everywhere. And that's everywhere in America. So that's just number one, just being exposed to it. And then coming across somebody that I talk to at Walmart. Every time I see this person, I just turn away from her and run away. Absolutely run away. I ask my pendulum all the time, is this person worthy of even talking to and trying to give spiritual information? Often it's like, no. And even if someone's nice now, like certain pretty women, it's not healthy for me to even be thinking like that because they're not even thinking spiritually. You know what I mean? And they're not psychic enough to realize, well, some are, that I'm not someone that is on the dark side. When basically, if you're spiritual, it doesn't matter if you're working out, you're pretty unattractive if you're doing weird yoga stuff in a gym where people are trying to be macho. And I like being a spiritual bad boy. Spiritual bad boy is you go into places where they do bad stuff, not necessarily really bad stuff, but, like Starbucks, basically. Starbucks. I hang out at Starbucks, not bars now. And just do these podcasts in front of regular people. And that's what I did today for a few hours. And some places are too toxic now, really, to even emit anything. And we're going into winter, so there's less light, so things are colder now. And with that behavior, and I don't want to get too specific, but I'll just notice certain people that are in the vicinity and the types of people and cars that they're getting into, and people kind of showing, that they don't have much class, and just the whole decoration, just part of just the matrix. Everything is just a breathing down your neck. Get in line with the matrix type of vibration. And it definitely is solidified even more with the election season. And then I sit on the other side because I'm not one or the other. If you pick one side politically, you kind of have a camp psychologically to people to hang out with. And then I say very clearly in the videos, I'm not left or right. And if I was left, a lot of Obama people would be, people would be supporting me or liking me or remembering me or caring about me. Because if he supposedly was anti-war, they should have no problem with my years and years of fighting the system and the man. When he told them to get in line, when he got in line, they got in line. And it's the same thing with Trump. All the Trump supporters can say is, well, he hasn't got us into any wars. And that's all they can say. They don't care about the vax. They don't care about the debt. They don't care about his role in demonizing innocent people, not exposing 9/11 and not being an actual truther and being catapulted by co-opted truthers. I mean, this is stuff any intelligent person would be able to think of. All right. So basically, the gnosis is the main point in my confidence building for men series here is that we are to have compassion for society, but we're not to keep crying for society. How many tears have I spent on this crap in this month of becoming more spiritual, open up my heart, and then seeing how evil the world really is and how evil my family is and evil this community is, evil Portland is. It's not that I never knew that. It's that it hurts. Sometimes it hurts more than other times. Orthodox Muslims have been given the opportunity time and time again to tell me that my life matters. Arab immigrants, Indian immigrants, brown people from Middle Eastern continents and worlds have had a long time to show me that they're above white supremacists themselves, and they have failed hands down every other time. Again, it's an aspect of white America and a very small, it's not even 1%, and you know that is willing to hear out my message. If you are ever, by the way, someone that identifies as non-white, you should always tell me that demographic data. So I feel like I'm being successful at reaching out to either Latinos, blacks, or other demographics that in some cases need to hear what I'm saying, though more so than you. It's because I speak English very fast that some people may not understand me that should. And it's because of this YouTube algorithm shoving my content in the direction of, and anything conspiracy, you know it, is going to be shoved mostly to white America. When I'm more of a, I don't want to use the word multicultural, but very outside the box of someone that's just speaking on behalf of white America. And so I have not figured out, and I feel like crying, this world is hurting me every time I drive around it. It's very frustrating. And so the main point is, and I don't give out my card anymore because I just look around and I'm just horrified. There was somebody at Goodwill who is always very nice to people, and then he's rude when I'm in there, and he just glares. And I'm not even trying to judge him because he's in a wheelchair, but just because he's in a wheelchair, I'm not going to kiss his ass. So he's like, "Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?" And then I'm there, he's like, "Hi." And I'm like, "Bro, I'm not stealing nothing." And then he's like, you know, he's going to wheel away. Then he's going to cart away and then glare at me. Like, yes, I'm looking through the shirts. I'm looking for a nice shirt. And I'm just telling myself, don't engage, don't look, no eye contact. And that's the same thing with the women at the gym, with wearing the booty shorts, and then the weird men at the gym that want to look at me weird, you know, thank you. And I don't want to engage. And if conscious females are here and they pop in once in a while, you can let me know that. So you can keep me from slipping away to thinking that you're all evil. Because in my world, but I can't say only females locally have helped me. Only females locally have come to my channel. You're never going to see me go on a male supremacy route because I don't have real men in my corner. I have some males and men that watch me from afar on YouTube. It's been many a moon since I've had a beer with a male. You think that I would hang out with these random guys screaming like apes down at the bar? Laughing with snot coming out of their nose with some craziness on TV? Never. And nobody wants me going down to that bar because there's no good decisions happening here under alcohol. There's no good after parties. There's no good things happening with the use of alcohol. It's not necessarily the alcohol. I think that's wrong necessarily. It's what are you doing on the alcohol? Where are you going? What music are you listening to? Who are you going home with? But I've drank alcohol in the forest and still seen the evil in the men around me, around the fire. You get a couple of men have too many alcohol beers around them, and there's a bunch of shit talking that'll happen soon after for no reason whatsoever. Why do I know this? Because that jerk Ryan, and all the years of drinking with him, being best bros with him, you can take the guy out of the bar, but you can't take the bar out of the guy. Wait, no, wrong quote. Anyways, I'm ad-libbing. So what I'm saying here is we have to be strong. I'm not saying don't have compassion. We have to basically, like Ozzy Osbourne, no more tears. Well, maybe we'll just bring up the song for 30 seconds for a little bit of meditation. And as we do this meditation, it's a psychic self-defense meditation for the good men, group hug in my audience. We discovered a comment that you left may violate harassment and cyberbullying policies. Basically, if I comment back to people and I'm rude to them, it's basically threatening me. It's basically threatening my channel. AI just did. And basically, let's go back to that. I have a video regarding Trump supporters. Basically, and just like 8 years ago, many of them won't identify an independent. And if I retort back to people, AI will threaten me. So what does that mean? And I just turned off comments. Okay. So you may lose the ability to comment. Just, we're one nation, one world under surveillance. Okay. So look at this. The left, insane women, wokers, Harris voters, Trump, Orthodox Muslims. You cannot white knight. Who can you white knight? Yourself. You're only responsible for yourself. I'm not saying that there's necessarily an innocent demographic like white men or something or Afghan. No. We're all guilty in some way, shape, or form if we were sent back to Earth. We're here in some sort of training mechanism, exercise to try to get out. And we are the ones that we have to save. But part of saving ourselves and trying to get up where we belong, at least includes doing good deeds, developing good character, and helping others escape the matrix. They have to escape the matrix for themselves, but being on the path of helping others helps ourselves. So if certain people are going to go down a certain direction. And then I even see a grandmother walking with normal shorts, totally unconscious that her 10-year-old is wearing booty shorts. These older women should know about this stuff. And I'm not bashing any. Basically, you cannot save people that are going to make their own bad decisions. Okay. And so I threw a lot of labels out on the title, but I'm not limited to those labels. You may have some labels too. Okay. But we're all here to learn, including myself. And I've learned that I've given a lot of my time and energy to other people. In some cases, I've trusted too many people with my time, with my energy, with my stuff, with my money. And I've had to learn the hard way. Basically, if you end up venerating certain demographics or certain people, certain genders, certain races, it may come around to bite you in the ass. Furthermore, as you saw me also say in the recent videos on the other channel, well, I've been suspicious of the mainstream media's attempt to kind of promote certain type of mixed race relationships. That does not mean then that those people are not gifted or beautiful, or in some cases, not more empathetic. It really depends on the person. And I met someone recently that I hope will be a positive energy exchange as far as communication, even if I share too much information about my feelings on this channel, which is a no-no. When you meet new people, I really wish I didn't do that. But after meeting someone recently, having that interview with that spiritual black woman, and then another woman coming up to me, non-romantically, non-sexually, just so you know, when I was meditating off camera and giving me a hug, and basically, instead of tapping that ass, tap my aura, basically. And how many women of my mother's ancestry, white women, either via email, I'm not complaining, or in person have wanted to tap my aura or do any type of Reiki healing? Zilch, none. If God wanted to show me that they were conscious, super loving, he would, right? So it is important that when people do come in, that they do share with me some demographic data, so I have a little of information in 2024, which genders and ethnicities are tapped in, okay, and which ones are consistently showing me the cold shoulder because of a reptilian hive mind that they themselves are denying. A lot of white New Age women are completely in the dark, that just like their mouse browser can be hijacked, so is clearly their sex drive. So Evan says that's a shame because women have a phenomenal natural healing ability. That's a gift from, and that's basically what I'm being shown in spirit all day long, is that they are constantly doing healing with they're great healers, actually, and they're healing the wrong men. Boom, 1 hour podcast on that. And they know that. And if they wanted to change the world, they could change the world like that, the New World Order, through their choices in men. Honestly, after connecting with someone recently, it would be very feminized of me to ever see her again, actually, even if I'm attracted to her. Like I said in the comments before I hit it, so nobody's likely to attack her. How about you come to my Substack like I asked you to? How about you come down here instead of say where I live is a ghetto? Chat is disconnected. Evan says, the ones that are cheating, lust, and cheap thrills, those are the ones that, yeah. And so, yeah. And so, certain U.S. cities, you're going to see more of that behavior where those are the people with the jobs. Those are the people with the nice cars and trucks. And I don't want to sound anti-truck, but people with certain types of trucks and decorations on them, kind of screams out douchebag. There's a certain truck that showed up recently, not here, but just say nearby. And it's like, oh God, thank God I never looked in their direction. God, and some people are just screaming with the style of I won't even describe some of the stuff I've seen on trucks. Oh, like male genitalia, fake medallions, like tied to the back of a truck. Like, oh geez. That's kind of, so just the world of men as a man is strange. I can't stand them. Out of the men that I like, apparently they're only on the internet, and we don't even actually like each other to actually talk deeply or do Zooms or plan a conference. So we're not that close. we're as close as we can be. But as far as in the real world, there's nobody male that sees anything in me here locally that would do anything for me if my life was in danger. And then there's no one that would want my help that's a male or tutorship in the real world. And so, nobody, whether they're Democrat or Republican, should think that they're progressing in society right now with nobody being able to establish community. I mean, a society that's looking for somebody to fix things, including their personal relationships and their inability to get along with others. Now, that's a society on its way downhill, wouldn't you say? It seems like some people are looking to Trump to bring the band back together. And it's amazing how the algorithm will shoot out a video of me retorting on the Trump thing without tags to 1,300 people. People will show up and be like, Alex, you were so much more together when you were in Colorado. And they'll say a bunch of other dumb things, like people will brag that they used to vote Democrat. And then, I'm going back and forth arguing with them. And then AI is like, whoa, you can't comment back like that. Whoa, because people are like that. The system ultimately sides with the bully. The AI algorithm, it's a demon, basically. I need to get away from the energy of this YouTube because I can easily feel psychically attacked by putting out a video that has a strong opinion and it basically being very few of the comments are intelligent. Now let's talk about the new comment on Black woman. Alex Hansary talks. There is a strong sense, Evan, that my audience doesn't give a flying rat's ass about that interview. Only you left a comment. You know what I'm saying? You probably agree with that. It's like I literally have to get away from this channel. We did a vote recently. How many are actual fans? How many are succubus? 50% voted succubus. Didn't even want to vote fan or hater. They're not even hiding it. As far as the perception, whether the females are racist in my audience, they wouldn't see themselves as that, so they would vote no. But I think overall we agree the answer is yes. And they don't even know how to identify it. And they're actually very anti-Hispanic in general, especially if they're worshiping Donald Trump. They have a hard time. The white females, they disconnect from me entirely when they're reminded that I'm ethnic. You know what I mean? They can't handle it psychologically because they're status seekers, a lot of them. And so all these horrible stories are in the news, and we don't want anything to happen to our loved ones and family. We don't. And I don't want anything to happen to anybody. But me being emotional is kind of normal because in our wiring, I'm eating, to want to protect. And the modern man is basically castrated by the system. Basically, especially if you have no family, you're basically a nobody. If you have no family and you have no money and you have no status and you have no fancy car, you're basically in everybody's way. If you're short and you're tan and you don't fit into any ethnicity, heritage, Latino, Muslim, you're in everybody's way and you're a little asshole if you have some problem with things. Alex, a lot of the time off-grid often overlaps with white nationalist or Odinist audience, seems to be disgusted by genuine interracial love. So, it's sad because off-grid would be the perfect environment for a mixed race couple, but they would be treated with hatred. Okay, and they wouldn't necessarily be safe. Whatever's happening in Costilla County is bad, and I want to cover it because I want to stand up for the little guy. But there's no sign that anyone in Costilla County wants me to cover anything for them. And like you pick up on, they look at me, the government, and they're creepy little devils. We're so programmed. Evan says, notice a resemblance between Trump and Mussolini. You notice, yeah. Mussolini, Hitler, on and on and on. A lot of people don't see that. A lot of people, he's like a Jesus Christ character. But any criticism of Donald Trump is immediately viewed as leftist, and yet the leftists don't understand the deeper conspiracy behind Trump's rise. It's just left versus right. I guess there are some left-leaning people in which you have a common ground where they see through Biden, Harris, and Trump, but they may have some socialist agenda, some sort of woke agenda that LGBT is more, some sort of climate change, the ultimate thing. The last thing on their mind are the issues that I talk about. Okay. And so the people on the right, if they think I'm left, they're really brain damaged. Okay. I'm an original 9/11 truther. There's no room on the left for 9/11 truth. Okay. They can't debate. They can't debate. I wish that there was a way that I could build a community of people of like minds, that we can live together and have our own village. But conspiracy people, by and large, because the white nationalist element, they have no sympathy for me being mixed race. I've reached millions of people in this lifetime, and less than 1% of them actually respect me, my audience, the people that I've reached. Like right now, there's 7. What percentage of them actually respect me and would be a real friend? Is it even 5%? The best we can do is, there's an Evan here who's somewhat psychic and sensitive and empathetic, a little more than 2 weeks ago. But 3 weeks ago, he was like, I'm trying to understand how a short-tanned man would be viewed with suspicion by Jewish people in Portland. And it took a while, but hopefully it's set in by now. That's not so much, it's just how it is. And so there's so many stories that I can tell you about. Let me just read headlines. Let's go over here. But doing a whole video and seeing Trump people ignore the message, doing a whole videos and seeing women ignore the message, and then also Muslims also, and my father ignoring the message. Then you can't really pin it on a race. You can't pin it on a group. It's the issue of unconsciousness. And then we have Tucker Carlson. I posted on the other page, I was mauled by a demon, if that's true. But if I talk about that, someone might think that I'm crazy. So whether it's Tucker Carlson or Donald Trump or somebody else, when they talk about certain issues, or Harris or Biden, they're taken seriously. There's lots of issues that I talk about, I'm treated a certain way, whereas they, culturally appropriate, you can say, they hijack the message and I don't get credit. And so there's not a lot of sympathy really for the devil and people that are following the devil's lead on the left and the right. And so as we see these things, we can feel very fearful for white people, for black people, for Muslims. I am, and myself. In reality, there's a larger process working itself out of persecution that God is allowing. Too many people that incarnated into this time. So our job is to serve God to the best of our ability, so God will bless us and back us when the evil one starts dishing out orders through the cell phones, through the lettering system, through whatever's going to be happening down the line. Evil is coming for us, and we need God's hand, individual hand of protection over our individual homes. Keep in mind, both Afghans and white European Jews are very traumatized people, sometimes hurt people, and I'm not excusing what any of these Archon-possessed characters did to you. They need, and you're continuing. And well, let me retort. Let's take a look at the character known as Zoe Ansary. Now, that's parentheses, Zoeansary. She's a distant relative. Okay, so her dad was friends with my dad. She's a good-looking, white-looking woman who's married to a white man, and she never once cared about my conspiracy content when I reached out to her on Facebook. She never once wanted to be a female relative, and who knows what her childhood was like, but she was treated with a lot more decency and love than I was. Okay, so what she is a typical American woman with a light skin tone who is easily able to assimilate into the Anglo-Saxon Americult, basically, because she's pretty, she's not short, she's taller. And so she lives an opulent life in the Ben Oregon area. Makes sense? She's never bucked the system. And so it's actually the corruption of our society, not so much trauma. Although they have trauma and they sometimes hurt people, do hurt people. And how do they? How do Afghan women hurt me? A mixed race person, they ignore me. They don't say Afghan lives matter. They don't care about the truth about 9/11. They worship TikTok. They put on the makeup like everybody else. So because my mother's been hurt by men, she hurts me. And even to this day, you would think that this would be the year to talk about things. And now that my brain is working at and a lot of the Trump comments or comments from the Trump people are just horrific. Like, wow, you're really fucked up. Or, wow, I liked you better in Colorado. Or, wow, you are so delusional. You can't see yourself. And all they are like, they are the type of arguments you can imagine from a school kid. And so there is no real white knighter to getting through to a Trump supporter. If a Trump supporter is being nice to you, they may not know that they are setting someone up for something. Somebody who's a Trump supporter was offering me shelter. And while he may mean well, once they get a hold of you, once you can't leave, you know what I'm saying? And that's a bad situation to go to a place like that anyways, in which I have bad history. I should not go back to Costilla. I want to have a new life where the people that do like my intelligence and do like it when I'm calm and intelligent and suited up help me. If people say they don't like me when I'm yelling and whatnot, then where are the people suiting up and showing up for calm, well thought out videos like this? We're going to end here in about 6 minutes because there's really no point in me going on and on. I'm going to edit today's workout video. Today was shoulders. I'm going to chow down on some ice cream. I'm going to get some sunlight and I'm going to pray to God. Okay. I am going to work on my psychic self-defense today and shield up from the negative thoughts of the people here. Okay. The evil women that are walking around with their booty shorts who want attention, even in the winter, who want the eyes, and they'll get dark and evil when they don't get attention. And they can throw even dark energy, even if you do look. And that's bad. The psychic self-defense from the entrapment of women that will be smiling and nice, but they're not the ones to even talk to anyways, because the smile is a trap. It may be a prayer that this channel will be suggested to the right ones or one in the future that want tutorship and friendship that can allow me to play a teacher role, because I am here to be a teacher, not in any subservient way, not in someone else's class, not in someone else's yoga studio. Now, I thought about going to MMA, not Gracie MMA, but MMA. Proprietary MMA, some guy's MMA. He's disabled. I won't describe it, but he's disabled. And so you wouldn't think necessarily learn from a disabled person, but he's disabled. He's like a Mickey then from Rock. He's like a genius with a bunch of younger people learning from him. I saw him for the second time, and I saw it as a sign that I was to go back there. Kind of had a sprain from hitting the bag without gloves sometimes. I think that's important once in a while. Then you have to take breaks. And I'm getting way deeper into fitness, gym philosophy, using bodybuilding to fight mental illness and to boost your ability to engage in spiritual warfare. The more spiritual warfare you do as an individual, right? Whether it be like shielding from people that hate you on the internet, like I engage in spiritual warfare all the time. That's why I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I go out and I walk and I mirror back the psychic attacks. And I have to realize now that some of the thoughts are not my own. And there could be negative thoughts coming at me from women. Some of the obsession or thoughts, even about me being short or whatnot, could still be the negative thought forms from women. And so I push back and beam into their head. I know you hate me because I'm short and brown, intelligent, spiritual. I know the truth now. And it's very important for me to own that shit, that I'm alienated demon scum. Demons be gone. People get up and leave the sauna. And then I have days where I go to the gym and I play neutral. I literally go back and forth between hitting the bag and sitting in the lotus position and calming down. Being in super yang mode, masculine, then super quiet, equanimous, neutral, not quite feminine mode, but the yin mode. All right. So again, title, you cannot white knight Orthodox Muslims, Trump, Harris voters, left-right paradigm people, wokers, the left, insane women. Okay. There's a lot of people that you can't white knight, but people that are going to be lost in the paradigm are going to be lost. Okay, so last few minutes, 3 more minutes to go. We should take this time with the X-class sword flare energy and imagine a shield of protection. And I want to send back the negative energy from the evil, because sometimes men are looking at us not because they're racist, because they see that we're fit or that we have a glow. And then you have really pathetic people that look around that have hot chicks with them, and they're always looking around ooga booga at single men, like, don't look at my women. And that's a very lowly evolved man and woman, especially like the dude who gets out acting like a thug who's got the Scarface shirt on. And that's really predominant in the scumbag culture here. A lot of, nasty people, women with no class, with dudes that are walking around like they're the thug, like advertising, like, that they're like some gangster or something with the most atrocious, ugly tattoos. And so people have said over and over, and they blame, oh, it's because of where you're at. People are classist and wealthy, well-to-do white people that are not my friends, that are not above racism, that never believe Afghan lives matter. They love to look down upon me and laugh at me without giving me any fucking credit for predicting this shit with China or solar flares. You know, they like to talk major shit about me trying to prophetically warn them about the future. It makes them laugh because they're demons. The truth movement is mostly filled with demons now. And so when you do truther content, conspiracy content, it's going to attract shit-seeking moss and shit. You know what I mean? Last chance to dance, and we're out in 2 minutes. You referred me to Michael Sananda. Wow, I mentioned women acting disgusted that I'm uncut. I found a video where you interviewed him. He is a very skilled artist and wise spiritual person. A lot of women are freaked out by single men, even a man who has to walk or take the bus. On that note, when I took the bus and I was depressed, that's when I turned to the needle. And Gunnar Standard was there in my life to be the demon, to never be my friend in my life when I needed a friend. But he only, and that's something that the other men who are shocked at hearing this stuff, many men, Mike Blue Hair, on, only came into my life to create disruption. And in the end, they teamed up, became great friends. Ryan McPherson helping out a guy in Pagosa Springs, find land named John, who used me to get land. And so often you deal with these tribalists. A lot of people are sensitive to the word racist, but on the left and right, you have tribalists in this America that honestly have no remorse for millions of people that they killed. All they can say is Bush did it, Obama did it, and just plain innocent. If you're so innocent, why do you go along with the program? And so many people on the left go along with the program they hate. And so with this text message thing, and this is a warning of things to come, the next target will be the Muslims. Even though I have an Islamic last name and they may come for me, I cannot let this break me. Okay? I consult my pendulum on a regular basis over, certain things that I wonder about regarding futuristic scenarios. So we'll be back in a futuristic video. Until then, I'm Alex Hansen, reminding you the path to the ultimate truth and place of peace still lies within. Evan says, even if you, as you're talking about the subject, they will accuse you of being far left when you're not. And Evan, to the people wearing the COVID mask, they will still think that I'm far right. The world has never changed. Thank you.